Wow, guys, what a display of cricket that we witnessed today. A lot to talk about, a lot to get into. There's so much to discuss on this particular show. And I hope that I can get through everything. We've got so many guys I'm hoping that guys are going to call in and give their opinions as well. This is a fan call in show. So it's an opportunity for you guys to also talk to us and let us know your opinions. We will have a panel as well. So we will start off the conversations, of course. And then from there, we'll move on and see where we get with this discussion. But there's a hell of a lot to discuss on today's show. As you guys know, this is the review show. All of these review shows we will be doing directly after the game. Give us about 20 to 30 minutes to get like ready, or 15 to 20 minutes to get ready for the show, because we still have to do match reports, etc., and put all of them up. And I have to make sure that everything's okay on with regards to the match reports to give people an understanding of what happened in the match. And then our review happens straight afterwards. So just give us some time to get ready. But today it's all about South Africa. Today we're going to discuss South Africa and what is going on. Everybody that is watching right now, just put out a quick tweet if you can on from Cricket Fanatics magazine. Just retweet our tweet to say that we are live now. I'll be doing the same thing, so that the fans can know that what we are doing right now and that we are live right away. But before we get going, before we get started, you know what we've got to do. First and foremost, click subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, and do all of those things too. And get involved with the Patreon account. We got a new Patreon yesterday. As you guys know, we're looking for more today, so get involved with the Patreon account. The link is in the description. I've also put a little PayPal over there for you guys if you want to get involved with regards to giving me a donation or all of those type of things. All the links are in the description. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates, because that's where we'll do our reviews and of course our reports and everything after the game. And don't forget to smash that like button. Very important that you guys do that too. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's show. Excited to talk about this one, guys. What a match to watch. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the first T20I between South Africa and India. I'm joined today by Neo Falani. I'm joined by Werner. I'm joined with Seppo as well. We haven't seen in a long time, sitting in his gown, nice and loving it, loving it. I haven't seen you in a long time, Seppo, so it's good to see you back again. I just want to put out a tweet. We are live so that people know, because we obviously had it predetermined for 8 o'clock because we weren't sure what time this game would finish. But now we've got a ballpark figure because there was a big score chase today. So we know that this matches will end around about just past 7 o'clock. So at least 7:30, around about that time is a good time for us to do our review shows. But we might go a little bit sooner. So just be ready between obviously 7 and 7:30 for any time that we can go live. Like I said, this is a call-in show, so you guys get an opportunity to call in and have your say as well. So you can call in whenever you need to. That is the oops, that's the preview. That's the wrong one. So the review show, and you guys can call in and have your say. But that's a little bit later in the show. I'll give you guys the cue on when to do so and when we can go ahead with that. Right now, we're just going to give our opinions on what happened in this particular match. And let me start off by just saying, David Miller was spectacular today. I mean, absolutely beautiful performance. It was exactly what we needed. Even though Rassie was struggling at the other end, he was doing the correct things on the opposite end to make sure that Rassie can stay within the game. Rassie was going at about a run a ball at when he got to about 30 runs. I mean, it was much worse than that. It was less than running the ball until he got to 30 when he got a boundary. But it was less than a run a ball. He was really struggling. He even spoke afterwards about it. He said that he was really struggling with getting going. But he said at least he knew he was just 2 boundaries away, which is an interesting point of view from Rassie's point of view. And But ultimately, it was David Miller that actually kept us in this hunt to 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 actually go on and win this game, because it was a proper struggle for South Africa. When I saw 200 on the board, I was like, wow, South Africa's going to have to pull off the biggest run chase in their history in T20 cricket, and they did it. So I think it was a fantastic display by South Africa when it comes to the bat. With the ball, you could tell in this particular game, at least this is my assessment of it and my opinion of it. In this particular game, it looked like it was a rhythm issue, game time issue. The players that are coming off the IPL in good form performed in this match, bowlers and batters. India's team in total, actually, the entire team is coming off some game time. They played IPL cricket, they're coming off that into this international match. Look at the guys that struggled for South Africa. You've got the likes of Keshav Maharaj, the Bray Shamsi, both of them not getting much game time. And Andrik Nokia, even to an extent, you could say, not getting much game time necessarily, or coming off, Andrik Nokia coming off an injury, a long-term injury, but he wasn't necessarily the issue. It was mainly for me the two spinners that you could see they were lacking some rhythm. They were lacking their usual deadly ability to be able to take wickets. Although Keshav did get a wicket, he didn't really impress me today. The Brace only bowled 2 overs and he went for 30 odd runs. So it was a struggle for the Brace today. You can see he's lacking some match fitness and rhythm. I'm sure he'll get better as the tournament goes along, and or the series goes along, and we'll see how this goes. But Rassi needs to also get some praise as well from us as a fan base, because I mean the way he turned it on at the end, it's going to cause a massive headache. I heard Neil McKenzie say on the show earlier on today that he's like, Victor Mpasang needs to be sponsored by Bernardo because the amount of headaches that he's going to be having for these particular this team is incredible. Because what happens when Aiden comes back? Who loses their place? It's going to be an incredible thing to look at and to see. So let's get into your guys' opinions first on the panel. Let's start with Neo and we walk around and go to Werner and then to Tsepo. What is your thoughts about the game? What is your analysis of the game, Neo? Obviously, you're coming from a professional cricketer's perspective. It's a whole different ball game when you speak about this game.
Good evening to everybody watching at home. Good evening to the fellow panelists as well, Tsepo and Werner. How are you guys doing? Khalid, I spoke to you earlier. How are you guys? I want to start by saying, how does he do it? It's just, Rassi got 75 of 29 essentially today because he faced 17 dot balls. Guys, and the right when they said he's going to give a lot of guys headaches because at some stage it was 28 of 30 balls and you're thinking chasing 200 maybe we're putting pressure on ourselves. He was dropped as well, might I add. So if that sticks, maybe we're singing a different song right now. And for the praise that I'm going to give today and the good and kind word that I'm going to give today, I think had that catch been taken, we are singing a different song. I'm not saying he's going to play differently, but that's just the true definition of staying true to self, I think. David Miller has to bat higher. We spoke about that 2 weeks ago, literally, and he's shown just exactly why. He's come in with, I think, just over 10 overs to go, 12 overs to go, and well done. That's fair play to that. From a bowler's perspective, I don't agree with Khalid 100%. It's funny when you say it because a lot of the guys that didn't play in the IPL, who maybe haven't played, there's a bit of maybe ring rust with them. I'm happy they've got that out the way. And it bodes well for the end of the series. It's always good to start with a win. So I wish them all the best of luck for the rest of the series. Hopefully the whole side can pull together and come right. Because if we're winning games at, say, 70%, when we get to 100, what does that mean for the Proteas T20 side as a whole? You know, you've got maybe Quinny didn't come off today. What does that mean for us when Quinny comes off? Timber didn't come off. Shemo maybe didn't bowl as well as he would have liked today. What does it mean for us when they come off? I just want to touch on one thing from the bowling perspective in particular, and it's just to throw a spanner in the works. I'm not going to say who, but there is a bowler in South Africa who specializes in bowling in the power play, who recently played for SAA, and he bowled up front in all 5 T20 games that he played against them. He's got a wicket in every spell that he's bowled in the power play. I think up front, we are trying to get wickets. And I think maybe Kesh is more suited to the middle overs. I'm not saying he can't bowl in the power play. However, maybe my very youthful opinion says Keshav maybe is suited more to bowl in the middle, to control the game first in the middle with Shamsi, to allow Shemo to attack. But up front, we may be looking at striking and getting wickets early. There's a chat that goes on in changing rooms that says if you can get 2 wickets in the power play, you put yourself into a 70% chance of winning the game. And I think essentially that's when maybe we need to be looking at wickets. He didn't get a bat today, but Wayne Parnell, I think, is going to be a big one this series, because I think he balances the side out really nicely. He gives the left arm option, and he's a bit quicker than maybe our other all-round options. And he's a 3-in-1 cricketer. So I think Pani is one of those players where I think he's still got to win us games. I was happy to see Stubbsy make a debut. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the series unfolds here. But kudos, very well played to David Miller, very well played to Rassie van der Dussen. Bring on match 2 on Sunday.
Now, I just want to add something quickly, because I know I said at the top that all the players that carried on form from the IPL performed. Rassie is the only exception. But if that catch sticks, we would have been. It would have been my theory would have been 100% correct then. But it's not at this point. We know that Rassie van der Dussen is a special player that can do something like this. Maybe it was the change of bat. I don't know what it was, but we know that he has this quality within him. I was sitting on the couch actually earlier watching the game, and I was like, I don't know if you're talking about him specifically, but I'm talking about Bjorn Fortuin here, that I think that needs to come into the setup as a spinner. I prefer him to Keshav as a spinner because of his opening ability, his mentality, the trophies he's won domestically. I think he's a youngster as well that can grow into this game and really be a force to be reckoned with. I'm a big fan of Bjorn and what he can offer. But at the moment, we've got Keshav and we've got Keshav, our vice captain, in the team as well. They've obviously looked at Keshav as an option for quite some time, and they've selected him. I do believe that Bjorn is much better than what it seems to be like with regards to his selections and stuff. I thought that he was one of the main guys in the team. And then we've also got a guy like George Linder, who's also young, that can hit the ball long, that we also have in the mix that hasn't been selected too. So I do think that there's better spinner options in South African cricket than Keshav at the moment in T20 cricket. Test cricket and ODIs, I think he's fantastic. I think he adds a lot of value in the ODI arena, even though some people might say, no, we want to obviously bundle the 2 white ball games together, which I don't agree with. But I look at each individual format differently. The thought processes, the way you play, the style of play, everything's different. Although there are some similarities within certain positions across formats that you can take out of games. But for me personally, each format is different. And I do believe that in T20 cricket, Bjorn Fortuin has won so many trophies as a bowler in T20 cricket in massive games performing. And I think he should get some credit when it comes to that. George Linder, as well, with the bat and with the ball, he's also another one that we can maybe throw into the mix, as I mentioned. But let's just move on from that quickly and move on to you, Werner. Your thoughts on this particular game. It wasn't necessarily all about, because we started off the game quite well with the ball at first. And then what happened is it just went a little wayward afterwards. But we started off okay at first, I feel. Besides Keshav getting a little bit unlucky in that first over, India rode their luck quite well, actually. They had the same amount of luck that we did. So I think that when it comes to luck, it's part of the game, and we can't use it as as a thing and saying against players, because it's part of the game. I don't think luck should be taken into account to say, oh no, but he got lucky, that's why he got runs. No, majority of the times, I mean, that 140 that Quinby scored in the IPL, he was dropped like 3 or 4 times before he got to that 140. So sometimes luck is part of the game, and that needs to be added as part of the game. It was unfortunate. If you look at, for example, Temba Bavuma, I liked his approach in this game. He played with the right mentality in this game, I feel. Yes, he went out, but that same delivery, almost identical, Ishan Kishan slipped, nicked it, and went for four. It went past the keeper. When he takes that catch, is a different story. If what would have happened if Pant didn't catch that delivery? I mean, then could we have seen maybe a great innings from Timber like we were expecting? I don't know. But let's move on to Werner. Werner, what's your thoughts on this particular game? What were you smiling about the most?
Uh, Probably the run chase. I mean, that David Miller came in and he continued with his great form. That Russie finally got the middle of the bat at the back end. I said on commentary that maybe the bat change is exactly what Russie needs, and all he needs is two out of the middle of the bat, and the next moment there off he went, and suddenly got all those sixes. So I enjoyed that a lot. I don't like to go on the what ifs, because you can go on forever with what if this and what if that. I'd like to stick with what happened. Yes, Russie was dropped on 29, but that happens a lot in this format. You are going to go for big shots. Sometimes you're going to get dropped. Sometimes you're going to get a duck. It happens. But I enjoyed the way that he fought through that difficult period. I mean, it is frustrating to watch if a guy in a T20 is on 30 or 32 deliveries. It's hard to watch when he's struggling. But the reason he could get through that is because he's been in this type of situation before. He's been there, done that, where he struggled at the start, but he manages to catch up very well at the back end. And the important part there was that David Miller was going great at the other side. So the required run rate never got out of hand. It kept around that 13, 14 mark. But because David Miller consistently got boundaries, even though Russie was struggling, we kept within it. And then when Russie got that one over from Harsha Patel when he missed his lengths, then Russie made up for all that struggle throughout the innings, and he played his part to get us over the line at the end. And I mean, fantastic run chase, chasing down 212. I think it helps when you're playing on a small ground to get those sixes away. You almost just need to give it some airtime, and get it in the air to get it over the boundary. So that definitely does help. Chasing on a small ground is a lot easier than a big ground. But yeah, so I enjoyed that. I also thought we were a bit unlucky with the ball. At the beginning, India were quite lucky, a few streaky shots. It could have been different. They could have gotten a lower score as well. So I think all in all, a lot to take out of this game. I think it will do a lot for us, our confidence, just this run chase. I think this is two games. The last T20 we played was in the World Cup, and that last game was where Russie van der Dessen made 94 not out against England, and now he made 74, 75 not out against India. So what are we talking about that Russie is struggling? So yeah, I enjoyed that very much, and I think it will do us a lot of confidence when Markram comes back as well. Hopefully, I don't know how long the isolation period will be for him, a week or whatever for the COVID. Hopefully, he at least gets back to play a game. I'd love to see Stubbs batting as well. I was looking forward to him, what he will do. I was thinking the whole time, okay, this is not too bad because they're chasing a huge score, so there won't be any indecision. He needs to come out and play his natural attacking game. He doesn't have to worry about it. So I was thinking like, oh, this isn't too bad. Yes, we are chasing an almost impossibly big score, but this is exactly the type of situation that Stubbs is used to at the Warriors, because the Warriors struggle so much with the ball that this is usually what he tries to do for them in any case. So it wouldn't have been the worst if he came in either. So I look forward to seeing what he can do, hopefully in the second game.
Seppo, your thoughts?
I'm so surprised no one's mentioned Dwayne Pretorius and the 4D chess that the
Yes, of course.
played.
Number 3.
I was gonna
That
get to that.
Genius. That was cheap, guys. Because we know, I think we're on comms and someone called Dwayne Pretorius a pinch hitter. And I was like, pinch hitter? Do you know this guy before this game was striking at like 150 plus? And I've been saying this like since last year against the West Indies. This man's strike rate is mad. So now just hoy him in quickly after the first wicket. Go, have fun, get your quick 30 runs, and then you give Rassie van der Dussen enough time to do his Rassie thing. And if Rassie takes long, then David Miller's there to sort of, you know, accelerate the run rate to different points. And that's what I really enjoyed about the chase. If when Dwayne Pretorius was done, then it was Miller time. When Miller time, or eventually when Rassie van der Dussen was like, let's go, then he was like, oh wait, let's go. So the way the run chase was constructed was it was great. But with that said, though, with that said, it is a lot easier to chase in T20s. That's just the way it is. It's like what's a 67% like win rate in the. I read an article that said like a 67% win rate for the chasing team in the Super 12, and that was literally like the tournament, because before that it was like the Associate Nations and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh fighting it up to become into the Super 12, and then it was the semi-final. So that Super 12 stage, 67% of chases were won. So when you win the toss, you basically have a 2 out of 3 chance to win the game just by chasing. So yes, well done to South Africa for winning the toss and for chasing very, very nicely. The field also looked very small, looked very difficult to field. I'm not sure you guys saw Quinton de Kock taking a few over here. The one that Dwayne Pretorius like dropped, it seemed to rush him because there were a lot of flat boundaries as well. And I mean, a small field does that. So very well done to the South African batting lineup to just send the ball to the boundary. And I mean, most of the boundaries that India got at the beginning of the innings came off edges, came off Heinrich Nortje's pure pace. All you have to do is guide it to the back, and there it is, 6 runs. There you go. So I wasn't really concerned when I saw 212 because I thought, we have so much firepower, and David Miller's he's on fleek. So going to the bowling, bringing all of that to the bowling, guys. Wayne Parnell, shout out to the guy. I'm not going to lie, I'm a converted Wayne Parnell hater. I used to hate on this guy all the time in his first time, in his first part of his international career, but now he's come back and he's looking fantastic. Best economy rates of the bowlers in this game, and he looked like he was very difficult to get to the boundary, and also got a wicket very, very early. And yeah, I'm just very impressed with the team structure. It feels like there's a plan. It feels like we know what we're doing. Yeah, I guess my only concern, to be honest, is just to brace Shamsi. I don't back it. Well, I don't back him to hold down an end. If he's either taking wickets or he's not. He can get expensive, but if he's not taking wickets, then he's not doing the things. But I mean, this probably wasn't the greatest day for spinners out there today. Props to Maharaj for at least getting Ishan Kishan out when he was flying. At least he got a wicket. But yeah, good performance on South Africans all round.
Yeah, so what I want to actually mention over here is I want to give credit to Mark Boucher, and I want to give credit to the likes of the senior group who made the decision to bring in Dwayne Pretorius at that point, because I think it was a risk that was not seen by many. I was in the 50% club, like I tweeted at the time of the selection, but I could see the thinking process behind it, because after the wicket of Pavuma in the beginning in the power play, we needed the key to this match and the key to T20 cricket is to get the maximum out of the power play as possible. So taking that risk and letting him go out there, because scoring the 29 off whatever he scored it off, or what was I can't remember the final amount of balls that he scored it off, but scoring that
13.
particular was the 13 balls. Okay, so that innings was perfect to get South Africa out of that poor start after we lost Pavuma's wicket. Now that took us out of it, but then when Rassie came in, he tends to always start slow, and it kind of got us a little bit in trouble again slowly. And then David Miller came in, and David was just fantastic in the way he performed and kept the pressure on. Without David's innings today, I don't think South Africa get over the line, in my opinion, because I think that David kept us in the game consistently. If Rassie was struggling like that with someone else, I don't know if we would have gotten over the line. Maybe not. Don't want to talk about what ifs. Like Werner said, I also don't like to talk about what ifs. I want to talk about the facts that are available right now. So when Aiden comes back is the big question. I want to know what you guys think about that, because where is Aiden going to bat when he comes back into the mix, because he's arguably our best T20 batter currently with David and Rassie, based on the last T20 World Cup, if you're going to take that into consideration internationally. Aiden's been fantastic in T20 cricket, possibly one of our best batters in T20 cricket. So Neil, what would you do? Let me ask you first and foremost, with Aiden coming back into the side.
I was sitting here thinking about it, trying to get a head start to that question. Yeah. Just quickly before I run to the Aiden Markham topic, what you have just said now, maximizing the power play. I'm looking at a breakdown here of the three phases in the game. And India in the power play were 51 for no loss. We were 61 for 2. That's more runs for us, so we won that phase. In the death, we were 64 for no loss, and they were 61 for 2, but they beat us in the middle there. So if our blueprint is to say we're going hard up front, we're going hard at the back end, then I'm happy with that. Then all of a sudden, you can maybe take Rassie in the middle there, taking time to find his feet as long as he is batting from 15 to 20. So if that's the blueprint and that's the game plan that we're going with, I'm very happy with that. Then I like the look of Dwayne Pretorius at 3, because for us to get that 10 runs more than India in the power play is because he got 30 of 10 balls or of 13 balls. So if that's the blueprint and that's how we're going to go about our business, I'm happy, because then it's very clear how we are playing our game. Does Dwayne Pretorius batting at 3 become an option because our side is balanced out by Pani at 7? That's maybe another question, because then you've got a reliable hitter at 7. Going to Aiden Markram, his best position in the IPL is at 5. David Miller's just got runs for us at 5. He's batted the whole IPL tournament at 5. What does that mean for Aiden Markram? Does it mean the only spot for Source is at 3? I know Dwayne's coming and he's done well there today, but if we're saying Quinton, Temba, Aiden, Quinton, Temba, Aiden, Rassie, or Rassie, Aiden at 3 and 4, David has to bat at 5 for me. It's a non-negotiable. I think when we're pinning our teams down, Quinny, Temba, David 5, Rassie, Aiden. That's our top 5 makeup there. And then we can fiddle around with either Dwayne at 6 or Stubbsy at 6 and Pani 7. But that top 5 for me, I think Aiden Markram has to come in at 3. Aiden Markram also brings a good bowling option into it as well. So maybe we can keep going Aiden up. We can go Aiden up front. That allows Kesh to bowl in the middle, and that means Shamo's got a partner to bowl with him. Shamsi can then attack, because Kesh is then bowling with 5 fielders out, and his biggest strength is his control. Maybe we go about it that way. And I know it contradicts the point I made earlier with maybe bowling with your strike bowlers up front in the power play, but then you still trust that KG is one of the premier fast bowlers in the world. You know what I mean? You trust that Andrich Nokia is one of the most, the premium fast bowlers in the world. Pani is bowling really nicely at the moment as well. Prior to him getting injured in the ODI series, I think he bowled 1 for 4 and 5 overs in that spell as well. So Pani's been bowling really nicely. But I'm still crying out for Bjorn Forte, simply because I believe bowling in the power play is a specialist skill. And the sooner we accept that, the better. Maybe the Indians, from a blueprints perspective, I know we beat them today, but they've got specialist death bowlers. Guys going into the IPL knowing already who's being identified as a death bowler. We knew at the start of the tournament, to game 2, that Arshdeep Singh from Punjab Kings was going to bowl at the death. Going into the World Cup, he was an option. Dinesh Karthik finished the whole tournament. And they never got tempted to tinker with his batting position, simply because for the Indian national team, he is identified as a finisher. Arshdeep Singh is going to bowl in the death for us. It's. I think the sooner we start treating those roles as specialist roles, the better we'll be able maybe to move our cricket forward. And I think it starts at a domestic level. Us with the franchises here, I think that's where it starts. we breed specialists into the Proteas. The Warriors have done that amazingly. Stubbsy goes in, he bats at 6 or 5. That's why he's better for the Warriors all season. So there may be pressure because it's a debut, but he's done it before. He can trust that past experience says he knows what he's doing. That's just my feeling on the whole topic there. But Aiden definitely at 3, because I think that's where I see it batting. Aiden 3 or 4 between him and Rassi. But let's not count Dwayne out the picture there based on the situation there.
Now, I have to talk about it because it's going to be a topic that a lot of people are going to speak about, and that is Temba Bavuma's position in the side now. Given that we have the batters that we have available to us, our captain is the weakest link with regards to our batting lineup currently. He's been moved up and down differently, up and down. He's been moved all up and down the order, never gotten a specific run in the side consistently. This is probably the first time we've seen Bavuma open the batting since the last time he opened with Quinton de Kock, which was quite a long time ago. We've hardly seen Temba actually open the batting with Quinny in the recent times, especially with the World Cup. He was moving around. There was even a particular game where they moved him down the order continuously and brought others ahead of him. Now, I still do believe that based on what I've seen from Temba in the T20 domestic league, that he could make a perfect partner for Quinton de Kock based on the style of play. We saw today that he can play a little bit of attacking style of game. He did show that signs of it. But then on the flip side, based on the stats that he's played for international cricket, if you look at the stats holistically alone, by that alone, you have to say that he should be the one that falls out of the side. Now, yes, Tristan Stubbs never batted today, so we don't know what he's going to add to the mix with regards to T20 cricket. There's also an option of maybe dropping on one of the all-rounders, perhaps, but I like the balance that the two of them gave, Dwayne Pretorius and Parnell. Parnell's been slept on. I mean, I was one of the people that was critical about his selection in the first place. And when I was watching him bowl over here, I was like, you know what the difference is? He's got world-class speedsters around him. Guys that can crank it up to 140, 150. Andrik Nokia bowled 153 today. Like, there was a delivery that he bowled 153. The man is quick. So the point about it is, before Parnell, in the past, Parnell was actually seen as one of the main bowlers within the T20 setup when he was playing back in the day. But yes, the T20 format was a lot about giving other people opportunities as well. So looking at it from that perspective, it's crazy. But now we have a captain that, with regards to his batting and his strike rate, and if you look at all of the stats, he's not in that conversation when it comes to the stats in T20 cricket. So what I want to ask you is, I want Werner and Seppo to both speak about it. Let's start with Seppo first and then go to Werner. His captaincy, is it enough for him to keep him in the side? Or are you seeing a change of captain so close to the World Cup, which is a lot of fans have been calling for him to be dropped in the side? What is your thoughts on Temba? Where does he fit in with regards to this particular setup? Aiden coming back into the setup, that's another guy that has a good strike rate, that has a good average, has played well in T20 cricket, that is deadly. What is your case on Temba Bavuma? Because his captaincy, I've been impressed with his captaincy in the past. I definitely have been very impressed with the captaincy in the World Cup and the way he did things. What is your thoughts, Seppo? Because we have to raise this question. We can't we can't tiptoe around these type of topics. I know that's a very controversial topic to have, because a lot of people hate Bavuma. Some people hate Bavuma purely because of race. I've seen that clearly, because even when he performed well in certain formats, he was still criticized tremendously. He won us a match in the World Cup, he was still criticized. So there's a lot of hatred attached to it, but then there's also some good comments. I've seen a lot of guys give good reasons for why he should be dropped in the live chat on this show particularly. A lot of them have been respectful about him with regards to tawny for his head, and then you get the opposite end where people are just gunning for him because of the sake of it. So I want to hear your thoughts on Temba Bavuma, the captaincy, etc. What is your thoughts on Temba as a T20 batter currently within the setup? With Aiden possibly coming back, what is your thoughts? Is this a make or break series for Temba Bavuma?
I'll jump in first. Timber's not going anywhere. Guys, we're winning games. Our captain is winning us games. And he might not be all big boy, smack it to the boundary, power. But in terms of finding the gaps and rotating strike, one thing that was frustrating to see when David Miller was smacking it out of the park, Rassie van der Dussen needed more balls to be on strike, just to get himself in. If Timber Bavuma was on the other side, he'd be rotating the strike. This man, it's actually dangerous how much he rotates the strike. And I mean, think of the team composition here. If you have one guy that's just constantly hoying assists to his teammates, just constantly saying, "Hey, Quinny, take as much strike as you need. I'll be here. If it's a loose one, I'll send it. If it's not, I'll definitely take a single." Then Quinton de Kock gets more balls to face. If it's not Quinton de Kock, it's Rassie van der Dussen. Give him all the time he needs. If it's not Rassie van der Dussen, it's David Miller. If it's not David Miller, it's Dwayne Pretorius. And that's how you can sort of not build a team around Bavuma, but that's how he sort of contributes to the team. He doesn't have to smack it out the park. Otherwise, we just have a bunch of big guys. Maybe we need something else. Maybe we need more than just his batting, but his captaincy. And these are the things that his stats don't say. These are the immeasurable stuff, like the value he brings to the team. It's about team composition. Guys, we're not just sending a bunch of batters out there. Then you're going to be like the England football team in 2010 when it was Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, Beckham. Oh, this midfield is so stacked. But do you win anything? No. You see, that's the thing. While I have some
Proteas
time
are
here, I
another good
quickly wanna also
example. The Proteas are another good
you
example.
see,
I mean, we've never won a tournament yet. With all those
so we need
superstars in the team.
exactly. So we need like team composition. We need like thinking cricket. And I don't know. I feel like Timber brings thinking cricket. I feel like Timber brings a little bit something different, quick between the wickets, gets the field nice and active. When he's running fast in between the wickets, everybody, he just raises the standard. I don't know. I feel that the results that come when he plays also seem to feel that. So I don't see guys was calm down. Timber was doing great.
Okay, so Verna, I just want you to add to this quickly, because I want to also add the super chat from Corbus in the mix before it disappears. Thanks a lot for the super chat, Corbus. I don't know why it's not showing. So hold on. Gee whiz. Okay, thoughts for the panel. For me, Markram replaces Keshav because he offers some spin a little bit of a like for like. Then the top seven batting: one Quinton de Kock, Temba, Rassie, Markram, Miller,
Sheesh.
Stubbs, and Pretorius. What is your thoughts there, Werner? Add to that.
Um, yeah, it might sound strange when you put it like that. Like for the spin option. I'd probably
Did say
bring
a
him
little
in.
bit. He said a little bit.
Yeah,
Big
fair
letters,
enough.
little bit.
Fair enough. I'd probably bring Aiden Markram in for one of the all rounders. Personally, I'd probably bring him in there. But on wickets that aren't turning, then I also wouldn't play Keshav. Then maybe one of the all rounders then comes in again for Keshav. So it might sound strange, but it might end up being the same in 11 in the end. In terms, yeah. So Markram definitely comes back when he is fit and firing. In terms of Temba, it's a hard one. I don't at this stage. I still don't think his game is 100% suited to T20s. I think he's an exceptional captain, and I think if he does play, he needs to open. This is the spot where he needs to play, no lower. He needs to open, and he needs to really take the power play on. We don't need him to bat until the 20th over. We need him to go hard in the power play. Give strike to Quinny as Chepo says when the ball isn't there to go after. But if he goes and he gets 40 of 26, 27 deliveries, that is more than good enough for me. If he can do that, that sets up Rassie to come, Markram to come, Muller to come. In that order for me, I would have Rassie 3, Markram 4, Muller 5. So if Temba is playing, which he will be, and he will be leading us at the World Cup, there's no point really discussing that. He will be leading us. He is the captain, and I don't see anyone else stepping up as captain now at this late stage, unless you're saying Keshav Maharaj. But I don't believe Keshav Maharaj should play in every game necessarily. So it will be Temba, and he needs to open, and he just needs to really go after it in the power play while the field is up, go over the top, get it through the gap, get those boundaries. In India, especially, you see the moment you get it through the inner ring, it's going to go to the boundary. So the opportunity is there against the new ball. He needs to go after it, and then if he gets out, he gets out. We have plenty of batters to come. Quinny needs to play his natural game. I think Temba complements him well, but he can't be. We can't have him and Rossi playing in a similar vein. We know Rossi tends to start slow, but he catches up very quick because he does have the power game. Temba doesn't necessarily have quite the same type of power game. He can up his rate, but he won't be hitting 3 sixes in an over necessarily. So he needs to go hard up front and then maybe get out. Not on purpose, of course, but if he gets out, that's fine. But he can't then be staying in the middle, just looking to nurture the ball around for 6-7 overs. So that is my take on that. I'm still not totally sold about him as a T20 player, but I know that he can do a job in the power play, and that's what I think he needs to do as captain.
Seppo, do you want to say a final word before I get the first caller on the show?
Now, Khoy, the first call on the show, I'll just chat in the comments. Some people are slandering my boy Temba, and I'm like, what's going on, guys? Let me address this.
Yeah, I've spoken about it in length in previous shows on why I see Temba as a good opener for Quinton de Kock. I understand everybody's point of view on his strike rate and playing him lower down. I don't see him lower down in the order. I'm sorry. Like, that's my honest opinion. I might be completely wrong, but that's my honest opinion. As an opener, I think currently he's the best option as an opener for the partner to get the best out of Quinton de Kock. I saw it today. Dwayne Pretorius come in with Quinton, and he started taking majority of the ball. Quinton de Kock gets frustrated, goes for a big shot, loses his wicket. Happens a lot. And I think that when Temba's at the crease with him, he does kind of keep him at bay and kind of rotate the strike, etc. My problem is Temba needs to get form. It's as simple as that. He needs to perform now. He needs to get what Werner explained was perfect, actually, I think, when it comes to that. But let's get the first caller on the show. The line is open, guys. The callers we're on record numbers tonight, guys. 96 views on the show. Thank you so much, guys. Drop a like on the video, please. We want to see 100 likes on today's video. Please get involved. Let's get the first caller on the show who wants to say something about Temba as well, but other things too. Welcome to the show, Ashwani. Good to see you again. What you would like to say, bro?
Hello, Khalid. Hello, everyone. How are you? Yeah, congratulations to South Africa for brilliant chase. I think whatever you can do, the opposition can do it better, and I will say good loss for India to see the holes they can plug here in the World Cup campaign. And one thing I talk about, you guys talk about Temba Bavuma. Uh, I am a huge fan of Temba Bavum's captaincy, not his batting. Main reason is I think if Temba not performing with the bat, it's not an issue with me. I will want Temba captaincy South Africa for 3 to 4 years because I think you have many examples in the past where opposition teams have not have that best player, but I think due to their captaincy, the team can do wonders. You have the examples of Darren Sammy, Mike Braley in the Ashes. You saw Mike Braley is an average player, but what we saw in 1981 Ashes with this captaincy and Botham heroics, he won the Ashes for England, and same with Darren Sammy. Darren Sammy is, I think, an inspirational leader. If you take his batting and bowling, I think he's you can say that not a very excellent cricketer, but I think he's an exceptional leader. And same I would want to say about Temba Bavuma. I think he has all the traits to become the first South African captain to win an ICC tournament. And I saw it, I think, in this upcoming World Cup in Australia. I saw Temba can won the World Cup for South Africa. I think many I think viewers will not agree with me about Temba Bavuma. Why is he in the team? But I think he should be in the team on the sole purpose. I think he's fantastic captain, and I see his captaincy uh, I think much better than any other African captains. His game awareness, I'm a huge fan of his game awareness. And if you saw in the past that the T20 World Cup happens, I think South Africa played really well. They just not qualify in the semi-finals due to the net run rate. If they qualified for the semi-finals, who knows? Maybe South Africa can win it. So I think Temba Bhuma should stick it. And coming to, I think India's bowling today. I know many people will targeting Harshal Patel, but I think and Shreyas Iyer. But I think if you saw the game today, I think the game is in the hands of South African, and I think it, but it was. I think I say want to say that, but it was as though that RVD was winning the game uh, for SA at that point. But I think the game is pretty much balanced in the hands of South Africa. Irrespective of that drop, I think the bowling in the second half has been dismal for from Indians, especially. But I saw the difference between the first and second innings. The amount of slower balls that South African displayed in the first innings, they tend to grip, but what the Indians try to do with the slower balls, they don't tend to grip. What I saw this in Delhi ground over the years, from I watching cricket from around 20 to 25 years. I think it is an excellent chasing ground for the second team. And nowadays in the white ball cricket, what is the trend going on? I think every team want to chase the target, and and South Africa I think done really well to chase it. And I think in the second game, I think India should try Arshdeep Singh. Sole reason because I think he has a better death bowling skills. I don't say that Harshal has a bad match today. He's bad death bowler, but I think uh, Arshdeep is in form like David Miller is continuing his IPL form to the international match today. So I think Arshdeep can do it as well in the second match. And also I want to say that India I think need to find out which they don't stick with the two fast bowlers. They had to take that massive decision to drop one leg spinner, or you can say that wrist spinners, so that because they played the World Cup in Australia, so I think India should stick with three fast bowlers. So it will be a big challenge to me which wrist spinner they're dropping in the future.
Cool. Ashwani, I'll keep you here. You can stay on. If other callers come, you don't even have to say anything. I was going to stick with the Bavuma thing. First and foremost, I did not say that Quentin de Kock can only bat if Temba Bavuma opens with him. That is not what I said. So I'm going to repeat myself again. And you guys can come for me as much as you want to. It seems like that's going to be the case. If anybody has any sort of, it seems to be like if I have anything positive to say about Bavuma, then it's a fight. Then it's constantly a fight. Smash a like on this video, guys. 100 views on right now on the channel. It's a record number. Please smash the like. I want to see 100 likes on this video. What I want to say is, we know that South Africa's not going to drop Temba Bavuma. I also want to see the best possible team play, right? We know that Boucher's not. So what I don't understand is why are we continuing talking about what his weaknesses are and not speaking about how we can get the best out of him and how he can add value to the team to make us a better team. Because there's no way that Boucher is going to drop him as a captain. With the amount of wins that he's got under his belt in T20 cricket, now I'm talking about, we've struggled in ODI cricket, and it's not all been on Temba Bavuma. That's been on plenty of players that haven't come to the party. We've had many ICC tournaments where we failed over and over and over again. We tried something different with Temba Bavuma this time around, right? By bringing him in as a captain. We needed someone that can rally the team together. From what I've heard from professional cricketers within the Proteas camp, the message that I've got off the record, not on record, off the record, what I've heard about what Temba does to players, to the environment, how he brought the team together in probably one of the most difficult periods in South Africa's history, with the Black Lives Matter movement going as pear-shaped as it did, with the kneeling situation that happened during the World Cup, we still came out with positives in the World Cup. Now, we started off poorly. We lost one game in that World Cup. We even beat that team that everybody wants us to play like, England. on the road to that as well. And we should give credit where it's due too, from a captaincy perspective. Now, is there problems with his batting? Yes. Can he improve things with his batting? Yes. Neil, I want to ask you this question to add to this mix. What is the kind of thought process? You don't have to mention names, but in South African cricket, what is the general message about Temba Bavuma? Because I know people say he's not a T20 batter and he's a weakling. I've seen being thrown around many times on many shows and on social media as well, that he's not that good or whatever the case may be, and then he's crap. I saw this man hit 100 in a T20 final for the Lions to win a trophy. And I was like, so this guy can bat. He does have it in him to be able to play T20 cricket. Because I was one of the guys that fell into that party at the beginning. When I started, I was like, Temba shouldn't play T20 cricket. He only should play Test cricket. That was my mentality. That was, and I could see him only being in the Test arena. And then when I was backing him in Test cricket, I was getting slated, saying Temba must be dropped. He's a quota player and he's all of these things. And then I was like, but okay. And then we switched around, and then it was, no, he can play ODIs, it's fine, and Test cricket. And now he's shit in T20s. So I'm like confused about how we're going to fit it and make it work. I would like to rather talk positively about it on how we can make it work, knowing that they're not going to call Faf back, knowing that they're not going to call Riley Rousseau. They haven't, even though I want them to give Riley Rousseau a chance based on domestic cricket. We can't always get what we want. So I want to think of a strategy going forward, right, on how we can. Yes, domestic cricket and international cricket is not the same, but you want to use domestic cricket when it suits you to say why players should be picked in teams. The IPL is not the same level as international cricket either. Let's just get that straight. There's a lot of players that do well in the IPL that do poorly in international cricket as well. So we can't compare international cricket to anything else, right? So my thing is, I want to think as a fan base, if we as a fan base can rally together and start to having positive discussions around the Proteas on how we can be better and how we can improve given the facts that are the facts. Temba Bavuma is our captain. He signed till the World Cup. We have to face the reality, and that is what it is. So, Neil, I want to ask you from based on around people, what people have said around domestic cricket in South Africa, what you have heard. What has been the narration around Temba Bavuma?
So all of the guys that have trained with him, that I speak to, that have played with him, all say the same thing. Temba's nickname is Malume. And a lot of the younger guys may be misinformed, but all on experience, all on the role that he plays in the team. In African culture, Malume is someone who is seen as a director, someone who is a second father. That's the value that the man adds, secondary to his cricket skill. I'm on cricket for right now, because it seems as though people love to, like you said, it's very easy to attack someone when he's off form, and then those same people are not trolling you when he's got runs. Take away the 10 that he's got now, Temba's got runs in the last few innings that he's played. A lot of runs. Test series, Bangladesh. It's not the same format, but he's not a different person. It's the same person who got those runs. So from a confidence perspective, we don't have an issue. Everybody who's calling for other guys to play in Malume's place, Temba's place, whoever that you say you want to play in that place, please go look at the amount of hundreds that they've got, professional hundreds. Temba's got 23. He's got 23 professional hundreds. 23 of them. Guys are questioning his ability to bat for South Africa. And nobody said, guys, we're not saying Temba must go play like Quinny. We're not saying he must go play like David Miller. We spoke about this a few weeks ago on one of the shows, and we said, in a T20 lineup, you can afford to have an anchor. So take the strike rate thing out of it. Because you can't tell me you need an anchor when you want to, and when he doesn't come off well, it seems as though that's been an easy cop-out, the strike rate thing. That's been a massive cop-out there, and I think it's very unfair because his whole career he's played as an anchor. You can't expect David Miller strike rates, but he is the best at that because the guys that you want to replace them with are guys that are going to come in and play shots. But Temba gives control to the batting lineup that we may not have if we add those other guys. Because if you get guys who play shots, We're going to get 220, 230 on a good day, but we're going to get bowled out for 120 the next. Simply because there is no control in that lineup. That's what Temba brings into a lineup. Apart from calmness of leadership, apart from second things off the field, I hear you talking about Black Lives Matter movement. I hear you talking about the kneeling situation that was handled in the World Cup, the coaching situation with Mark Boucher. I hear all of that. I hear people's opinions, and people are entitled to feel however they want to feel. That's good. We love that. We love different views and opinions. However, what I'm saying is let's just make sure that we are being fair to everybody in the sense that guys have been given rope in certain batting positions. You spoke about it right now. Temba Bavuma got runs opening the batting for South Africa. And in order to try new things and filter around new ideas, he's then shifted down the order numerous times. Sacrificed his own self. And he's tried different things just so that we can see other guys in certain positions. You know, Reza's come into the side a few times. Really good player as well. He's come in and he's played around with the idea. Temba could have stayed opening the batting. And I do believe, like you guys have said now, to bat with Quinton de Kock at the top of the order, Temba Malume Bavuma is the best to do that in the country. Guys cannot, and people are going to slaughter me for this, but guys cannot tell me otherwise. Simply because, like I have said, there's a lot more that goes into playing cricket than what guys see at the end of scorecards. A lot of guys are tweeting responses and replies now, but they didn't watch the game. They went to go look at the scorecard. They don't know what happened. People are telling me he doesn't have runs. You minus this innings, the guy's got 450s back-to-back, I think. Back-to-back in test matches. What runs doesn't he have, guys? That's one innings where he hasn't come off in 5, and we're saying he doesn't have runs. That is the same guy. Switch in format, yes, but it is the exact same cricketer.
You see, that's the thing that I think people have an issue with, because they want to separate. They're separating the different formats and looking at specifically T20I. So you can't. So I know, I understand what you're saying, Neo, from that perspective that he has 50s back to back in Test cricket, but I don't necessarily think that we can compare the formats. Of course, you're not doing that. You're just explaining. Yes. I understand you're not doing that, but you're just explaining the fact that he does have runs behind his name, that he can play cricket. It's like all of us, because my point is, like, it's like all of a sudden T20, suddenly people can't play cricket anymore. He's like, he must be dropped to, I saw a comment earlier on, Division 2 he must go play. I'm like, what? Like, that's ridiculous. The man won a franchise trophy 3 years ago. He won a franchise 20, scoring 100. Like, how can you tell me he must go to Division 2? That's the statements that I'm talking about that is weird.
So just short and sharp from me. Sorry, Kate. I'm so sorry. Just short and sharp from me. The reason why I added the test match innings into it is a lot of batters will tell you it's a confidence thing. It's trusting your skill. It's a freedom thing. So what I'm saying when I'm adding and articulating the fact that Temba's got runs in his most recent innings is what I'm saying to you is from a head space perspective, he's done nicely. Then I'm going to take it away again and say, when was the last time Temba Bavuma opened the batting in a T20 game? Because essentially, we've given him a gauge on one game there. So we're saying Temba must get dropped from the Proteas T20 side, having opened one game today. Before that, we can't remember when he last opened. My last memory of him opening the batting is the the England inbound series, where we played at St. George's and Cape Town. And to my recollection, he got his top score there. He got 72 in East London. So that's probably 3 innings ago at the top of the order. He's just batted in other positions. So he hasn't gotten the tether opening the batting. What are we judging him on? If we go back and we look now and we get stats guys to sit down and to look at Temba Bavuma opening the batting and the sequence of runs opening the batting, I guarantee you the picture that people are painting right now is totally different. Give the man rope. Let him open the batting and then come up with your gauge at the end of the series. After the World Cup, then you can say, well, you were wrong. But what I'm saying to you is allow him to bat in one position, allow him to come up with a game plan and formulate plans and strategies and ideas and feel a certain batting position. Simple,
just
because the guy's got confidence behind him. He's got runs behind him. He's got takers behind him, leadership behind him, and most importantly, what we maybe all don't realize is that the whole of the South African cricketing circle backing. There's a reason. Like, guys have played against Temba. I've had the privilege of watching him live, and I can speak to you guys right now and tell you right now, that man can play cricket in all formats. I watched him play T20 cricket only. And every time I've seen him play in a T20 game, he's got runs. So guys must stop. Don't look at the side of the coin that you choose to see. That's my
You know,
2 cents.
and guys, I'm not a just defending people left, right, and center. I'm not just doing that for the sake of doing it as well. Ashwani, just add your point you want to say.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say that if you want to take Temba Buma's strike rate, I think many people have issues with Temba's strike rate. I think if I want to give you the example of world's best batter at the moment is who is Babar Azam. He's playing in T20 ODIs. He's the world's best batsman currently. I think his strike rate is mere. I think in T20 is 120 to 130. So I think he played that anchor role in Pakistan teams, and rest of the team played evolving around Babar Azam. So I think Tamba will play that role. I think if your team I think bowled out on 125, 130, then who will play that role? You can't fill all your team with the hitters like David Miller or Quinton de Kock. So one or two players is need in the team who will anchor the innings. So I think Temba will suit that role, and I don't want Temba's batting. I want his captaincy only. I am a big fan of his captaincy. Simple as that.
Can I make another point about Rassi? Because people have spoken about Rassi maybe opening the batting. If Rassi plays like he did today, like takes his time and starts has a lot of dot balls and struggles at the top of the end, will that be a good thing for South African cricket? Werner, can you just add that into the mix, or Tsepo, whoever wants to go?
Varner, you go. You have a chat, bro, because I could chat for days. But short answer, no. He'll suck in the power play. That's all.
Okay, okay, no reasons. Look at guys. Also, remember that me as a host as well. I'm trying to get conversations going here as well. Trying to get you guys to speak about it because I have to ask the difficult questions as well. So Werner, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know whether Rassi will suck as an opener because I haven't seen him opening in international cricket yet. I remember him opening for the Lions. He was pretty decent, but they had a similar problem that the Proteas have. They had a squad of a lot of openers, so they asked him to shift down and adjust his game, which he did very well. And he might do well opening, he might not. I can't say. If he bats like today, it won't help our cause because you don't want a slow power play. The power play is where you need to capitalize big time. So you can't go 30 or 30 in the power play because that will set you back a big way. So I don't know. Yeah, I've set my bet on Temba. What I want him to do. I expect him to continue captaining and leading us as a captain. In terms of his stats, he's opened 11 times for us, and that is where he has his best strike rate. His strike rate opening is 137, which is perfectly acceptable. That is exactly what I want from him. If he can go at 137 as an opener and then go out, and then we have the likes of Rassi and Miller and Markram to come in, then we're 100. So we can say what we want about his overall strike rate, but his strike rate at opening is 137, and that is the key, and that is where he should bat now.
Yeah, and I mean, just throwing someone as an opener into the mix just for the sake of it, just because you don't want Temba there. Like stats can lie if you read them incorrectly. Like Werner went into the
Sorry,
stats
Khalid.
and went to yes.
Excuse me, Khalid. I have to go. But
Okay.
I want to clear the things to all the viewers. I don't compare Babar Azam and Temamua, but I want to explain you about their roles in the particular side. Babar Azam, there is no match between Babar Azam and Temamua, but I want to clarify that. I think the role Babar Azam playing in the Pakistan team and what Tema, I think it's equal. There is no comparison between their batting skill. Babar Azam and Tema Uma has no match. So thank you very much.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, we'll never score 200 plus with Temba Bavuma in the team. We will never chase down a high score with Temba Bavuma in the team." So I don't know. We just did it. So I'm not saying that we must just blindly support and blindly say, "Oh yes," just blindly follow and blindly support people. Yes, say it like it is. This channel is here for you to say it like it is. I've given you guys ample opportunities to come on the show and have your say. No one's clicked the link except Ashwani. So I'm calling you guys to come and have your say on the show and give your opinion. As simple as that. It's a place for you guys to do that. I want this to be. It's not only about my opinion. It's not only about Neo's opinion. It's not only about Werner and Paul. It's about all of us together having a discussion. Now, and I have
It's a lot
obviously.
easier hiding in the comments than it is to front up in front of the camera and saying the same things.
Yo, Werner's calling them out, bruh. Calling out the haters. Come. We're waiting for you, bruh. The haters.
No, guys, it's crazy. Is this true, Chepo? Did you just check that out now? That you just put in the live chat.
I just copy pasted from ESPN.
That's
Cricket.
the stat I read to you,
That's
Khalid.
literally what.
Incredible.
Werner
Yeah,
was
that's what
reading.
I'm asking. Is it the same stat as what you gave?
Yeah, it is.
Same
But it's
And Lorenzo, sorry, Lorenzo, I'm gonna call you out again. Look here, bro. Not everything that I'm saying is directed at you, bro. Like like just because I'm saying certain things that might go against what you're saying doesn't
I'm
necessarily
correct,
mean
yeah.
that I'm going at you specifically. I know you're a supporter. You come on the show regularly. You give your opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. I'm not saying you guys are wrong to believe what you're believing. I'm just giving a different viewpoint so that we can discuss this as a group, as a fan base, because we're a family over here. You have discussions about things. The question is, can it work with Timber? It could possibly,
I'm
and it
saying you're
has.
wrong, Lorenzo. Just
you're
me.
going to have to chip
No.
in, Neo. Otherwise, you're not going to get a chance.
Yeah, go now.
So I read in the comments now.
Wait, 2
somebody
seconds,
feels-
2 seconds. 2 seconds before you say, Ashwani, happy birthday, bro. I didn't know it's your birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Ashwani,
Happy
bro.
birthday.
My brother's
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Ashwani.
Sorry, Neho.
Sorry. So I just read in the comments now. I'm not saying it personally. Someone is saying they feel as though I'm questioning their cricket knowledge, and just because I'm a pro, I think I'm right. Guys, at the start of the show, I said it's a matter of opinions. The first time I came on here as well, I said, guys, I'm just giving opinion. And I just like to believe that my opinion is backed up by fact. Guys are asking, I'm not saying I'm right, because we've got different viewpoints on cricket and we're allowed to. There isn't a right and a wrong in this thing. There isn't. I'm just saying, Ashwani made an example about Babar Azam and his strike rates. I'm not comparing the two at all to anybody watching, but I spoke about the control that people bring to lineups. Fakhar Zaman can play the way that he plays because Babar Azam is in the lineup. Whether Maluma's got the runs for us to be speaking like this is a different game, but from a control perspective, Fakhar Zaman can play the way that he plays because of that. Mitchell Marsh won the T20 World Cup for Australia not so long ago. Aaron Finch was struggling, but Aaron Finch's strike rates were there and thereabout in that region. The control in the lineup. Why is Stephen Smith still playing T20 cricket? Guys are going to ask that question till kingdom come. But guys, it's control. That control is the same control that won Australia the T20 game against Sri Lanka with Matthew Wade at 7. Recently, got 26 of 26, striking at 100. Guys are going to go on about his strike rate. TGTY, the game will tell you how you need to play. The game will dictate for you how you need to play. We saw intent from Temba today because we're chasing 200. We saw Temba playing the T20 World Cup and he got a not out to win us the game, a 30-odd not out to win us the game in the World Cup. The game told us that he needed to play that way. But it was in a different batting position as well. So I'm just saying, no criticism to anybody. Everybody's points are valid. It's a happy space over here. But we're just giving opinions. We're just giving opinions. We're giving facts. And just lay off on Temba. let's just lay off on Malume unless you are sure that you want to start that chat. Because a lot of the guys are not coming at him about anything else apart from he's got no runs. He's not a T20 player. Based on what? He's got a T20 100. He's won a T20 comp. How is he not a T20 player? That's a definitive statement. That's not an opinion. So that's dangerous water there. So I think let's just maybe word out things properly or go about these statements properly because, yeah, no.
I want to ask about us batting first. That's what I want to see. Do you like? That's where I'll be like, okay, now we have
That's
a
our
batting
weakness.
lineup that can win a tournament. It's not just a weakness; it's a difficult thing to do, and that's where we can start having conversations about who fits where. Because when you're chasing, you can bring in Pretorius at 3 because you just need the runs to come in the power play, and you can choose how you're going to, move each like for each situation. You're able to adapt. But now, when you're setting the pace, that's what's going to be interesting. Werner, did you want to put up something, or did you just jerk your body?
It is the harder situation, setting a total than chasing. But just to point out that we beat England last year in the World Cup, setting a total, and England are pronounced good chasers, and we set them a target of I think I won 189 or something, and England weren't able to chase it down. So it's not an impossible task.
Yeah, and look here, everybody's opinions are valid. Everybody's opinions count. I mean, I understand the train of thought of people that don't want Timber in the team, and I do understand the train of thought of people that do want Timber in the team. So there are clearly people that agree and people disagree, and that's okay. We can differ in opinion. That's what this show is about. That's what this channel's about. We're going to differ in opinion. I mean, I've had debates with people on the show plenty of times. Me and Werner don't always see eye to eye. Me and Aditya don't even always see eye to eye. So like, I mean, even Seppo as well, when we've had debates in the past. Neo's only come on 2 shows so far. So we'll see how it happens because we're probably going to have plenty of debates in the future too. So I'm looking forward to those debates. And that's what makes it fun, guys. If we all had the same opinion, my word, it will be, how boring would this all be? Let's get your final words over here. Neo, your final words, Seppo, and then Werner to end it off.
Well played, South Africa. Well played, South Africa. Well played, South Africa. Enjoy the rest of the series. See you guys later. Thanks for having me. And everybody in the comment section, I love you guys.
I want to see us set more totals. Yeah, that's all. Oh, and Aiden Markram. Aiden Markram as a bowling option. I wanted to talk about that. Guys, he's an all-rounder. That's what he does. I'm done.
Yeah, I'd love to see where Aiden slots back in. I don't necessarily want him to come in for Tristan Stubbs. I want Tristan Stubbs to have a proper opportunity here. He's now had one match, but he didn't even get to bat. So I'm happy to see him in from the first match. I was thinking he was going to get the last couple of games, but I think seeing as Aiden was out, they decided to throw him in now. So that's good. He got a catch in the outfield. He's very quick across the ground. So he got a good feel for the game already, so that's good. But I'd love to see what he can do in the rest of the series. But great start, chasing this down successfully, record chase. I think that'll do a lot for the confidence of the group. So looking forward to the rest of the series, and it's fantastic that it's a 5-match series. It's still going to be short, but 5 matches make it interesting. So I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully our bowlers step up as well to possibly defend a total as Chip was hoping for when we do set a target.
Okay, guys. There is one caller. Bibik wants to have a word before you guys go. So let me just pull him on. Welcome to the show, Bibik. What would you like to say?
Yeah, thank you. First of all of you guys, I'm Khalid. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and love to come because last few days couldn't follow you so due to your work. I'm from Canada, so it's in this working time for me. Sorry for that. But yeah, today I have to follow. I just got out of a meeting. So I have to say one thing regarding Teba. First of all, like a lot of guys are just going around Temba West. I have to give you one fact. Like since 2001 to 2017, there was each year a ICC trophy happened, and South Africa had so many stars during that time. Nobody could or like win a single ICC trophy. Okay, and then I think this is the chance to give this guy, because last year Temba, this captain really well in the ICC trophy. It was a net run rate. We couldn't like go into the semi. That's the reason. But the way today, actually, if you see, Temba didn't wasted that much deliveries too, and so I think like Temba should have been given a chance, because I would like to give another example. Virat Kohli, he was a really nice player and nice captain, but never won a single like ICC trophy as a captain. And if you just see MS Dhoni, definitely, I'm not comparing these players as a like their skill, just comparing their luck also sometimes come into the factor. Just look at the MS Dhoni; he won all the three like ICC trophies. So that's the reason I think Temba should get the chance, and he has not done anything wrong. I think he has not done anything wrong. So I think Temba should get the chance, and it is like not only like with Temba there is like one huge responsibility always there, just to like inspire the next generation of Black African cricketers. So I am a huge fan of Temba Bavuma. So love to see him as captain.
Okay, thank you a lot, Baby, for coming on the show. We'll chat to you again very, very soon. Thank you for taking the time out from your busy schedule to also come and have a chat with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
See you. Yeah. Okay. So excellent. I think it was a good show. I think we all got our viewpoints out there. Yeah, we are fans at the end of the day, guys. We're not pundits. So what we say is not necessarily true. So what I say is just my opinion on what I see on the matter, and based on what I've seen in the past and what I've seen in domestic cricket and what I've seen within South African cricket, and it's just my opinion. I don't even know if my opinion is at all right or not. It doesn't really matter to me if it is or not. It's really up to you guys to decide whether you agree or not. But ultimately, I've done a show on this already about why I think, based on cricketing reasons, for all of those things. But I just want to end the show by saying, well done to the Proteas. Well done to Rassie van der Dussen for coming back and doing a performance like he did after he struggled a little bit at the beginning. He came back magnificently, winning this game. He's getting a habit to chase for South Africa and doing well. He needs to be kept in this team. Like, I know there's some people, and I was one of them, that maybe said if there's anybody that needs to get dropped, and perhaps maybe we look at Rassie. That was before the World Cup I'm talking about. After I saw him perform in that World Cup, it changed my mind completely about him, because I saw him play under pressure, under lights, in difficult situations against good, decent opposition, and come off on multiple occasions consistently. Rassie's been one of the most consistent batters in our setup, and he needs to gets props for it, and he needs to be celebrated, because well done, Rassie. Also, what he brings to the dressing room, I think, as well, his attitude and his mentality and his hard work ethic is amazing for any youngster coming into the setup. David Miller, been criticized by me in the past, but he's been in excellent form currently. I'm hoping that he can keep this purple patch going into the World Cup, because I don't know what you're going to say about him if he doesn't perform in the World Cup. I'm scared to see what people might say if he doesn't perform. I mean, he goes on a bad run of form. I'm scared to see that, because I don't know when
he will perform. Don't worry, Khalid.
Yeah, bloody
He will
bloody
perform.
hope. But I
He
bloody hope so.
loves Australia. He's
Oh,
going
I
to
bloody
perform.
hope so.
He just needs enough balls.
Yeah, I mean, I want everybody to do bloody well. I want us to win a bloody World Cup. That's all I want. Like, just do.
I
The
just
team is
want a
gonna bloody
trophy.
do it. I
Just give me a
want bloody
trophy, an international trophy, man. Just one. Just one
Just
trophy,
one.
man.
Man, I love the
Man.
enthusiasm and reactions after a match like this. Anytime we pull off something like this, everybody's like on this high and like, this is the year. This is the year. David Miller is in form.
Don't
Quinton de
say it,
Kock,
Werner. Now we're gonna be favorites, and
It's
then we're
funny
gonna
because
be
it's always the
chokers.
same thing.
Don't say
But
we're favorites. No.
what I will say is I do think we are heading in the right direction as a team, and it's good that all the backroom stuff is done with, so we can focus on cricket. And I think that's the important thing right now. Let's focus on the cricket. We have a good leadership group. We have youngster and stubs coming in. Norkia is coming back from injury. He'll get better with game time. And we have a lot to build from. I thought we had a pretty decent T20 World Cup last year. Yes, we lost that opening game against Australia, which we shouldn't have. That was our own fault. But we won the other 4 games. And I feel like this is one of those formats where we are really starting to hit our straps, even though we conceded 212 runs. I can see something in this team. So I have some confidence for us going forward.
Mhm. Yeah. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed all the discussions. Thanks a lot for all the comments and all the opinions that you guys have given on the show. Please continue doing that. Please come on the show. Please call in. Do all of the things that we ask you to do. Comment on the show. Tell us we crap. I mean, tell me my opinion is wrong and you don't agree with me as well. I need that as well for me to rethink and think. Maybe am I wrong? Am I right? I like to question my own thoughts as well. And look, you guys. Sometimes I say crazy things. As the show host, I say crazy things. I go with a certain way, and then I change my mind because we are allowed to change our mind and change our opinions. I mean, what's the point of doing that if you can't learn from your mistakes? And I made mistakes in the past of things I said. I maybe jumped on certain people too early when they performed poorly, and that's not right from my part as well. And I'm gonna admit to it on you guys all on a bloody live stream. It's difficult for me on my own channel to come to you guys and explain to you that I've been wrong in the past and I've made mistakes, and I'm going to continue to make mistakes, and that's what it's all is about. I mean, that's why we want to do this as raw as possible. It's not scripted. I literally put on a record button and just start speaking and expressing my mind. I don't prepare for it at all. With regards to what I'm going to say, because I like to hear what others have to say and then react. So I'm going to get things wrong. I'm a fan. I'm not a pundit. Yes, I have journalistic experience. Yes, I've worked in as a journalist. Yes, I still do journalistic stuff and do articles, etc. But I am a fan at heart, and that's what this show is about. Cricket Fanatics magazine is all about fans giving their opinions. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for helping us get record numbers on today's show. We will see you guys again tomorrow with another show, another daily show. It will be a Q&A session where you guys get to ask us questions. Stay tuned to the Instagram account. The Instagram account will have a little section where you guys can get your questions to us beforehand and we answer them. Otherwise, you'll get involved in the live chat on the day. It's also streamed to both Facebook and into YouTube, so you guys can ask questions on both platforms to us directly on tomorrow's show. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Thanks to all of the support, and we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Peace.